What's up, guys? Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Monday, February 21st. Beautiful day out today. Caught them a little bit, not very good, but we'll talk about that. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 915.65, so a little bit more than half a foot above normal pool. Core is running a ton of water. They've got all the generators running, at least 2 generators on Table Rock. They've got the generators on Beaver running off and on. It's constant water flow, but they've been running pretty hot and heavy ever since we got all that rain and snow last week. Got another rain event / snow event coming towards the end of this week, actually starting tonight and lasting all the way through the end of the week. So I don't expect to see the water shut off anytime soon. Temperature, it's kind of all over the map. I'm at Shell Knob today. I've had 45, 46 most of the day. Went ways up into the Kings. We did find 49, almost 50 up in the Kings. So there's a little bit warmer water. It's a lot dirtier, a lot more stained up there. So a little bit dirtier water up there, a little bit warmer water, but down here, Main Lake and down towards the dam, you're in that 45, 46 degree range. Caught them real good yesterday, didn't catch them great today, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Best way to stay on top of it, join Table Rock Fishing Intel. We had 4 reports over the last 3 days. Had another one already today. We're gonna have another one later today that I'll fill out. So we're getting a lot of fishing reports in. Whenever the weather's decent and we can get out there and fish, and guys can get out there and fish, we're getting quite a few reports. Plus we've got weekly reports, we've got maps, we've got feature videos, we got all kinds of stuff going on Intel. So good idea to check out Table Rock Fishing Intel if you have not done so. One other thing about that, all of our pro members now get a 10% discount off of everything they order from Baitworks if they order online. So you just follow the link, takes you right to the Baitworks site, bada boom, bada bing, they take 10% off at checkout, so you save 10% just by being an Intel member. And we've got more of those things coming down the pike later this year. But if you're coming down, going to fish the lower end of the lake, I know the bite at the lower end was really good over the weekend. One of our experts, Brian Baddick, had a really good day down there throwing a jerkbait and an A-rig around standing timber on bluff ends. So that is kind of what his deal was, how he was catching them, what he was doing. Most of those fish were not very deep. They were, suspended around that 15 to 20 foot range. Some of them even shallower, just depends. If he had a little bit of wind, he could catch them a little bit shallower. The deep bite, I know guys are out there scratching away at it, but I got to be honest with you, I haven't even looked. I take that back. I looked for 10 minutes here yesterday and found 2 or 3 fish, and they didn't want anything to do with it, so I didn't want anything to do with them. So the deep bite in my mind is probably going away. And I do know guys are catching them. If you go on up in the Long Creek, guys are catching them pretty good on a rock crawler and a wigglewort or on a jig, mostly on those transition banks at either the ends of the channel swings or where you get some bigger rock mixed into a steeper gravel bank. Really seems to be key to catch those fish down there. Go into the mid-lake area. Was in the mid-lake last week, caught a few. It wasn't great, but weather conditions weren't perfect. Most of the fish I caught that day were on a jerkbait on the Spromic stick in the Ghost Table Rock Shad. Most of those fish were relating to cedar trees. Didn't really see a whole lot around brush piles, but a lot of them on cedar trees, and caught quite a few fish doing that. Caught them on a rock crawler as well, mostly in those transition areas where it goes from big rock down to smaller rock. Didn't really catch them on the gravel and rock mix points in the mid-lake area, and I'm not exactly sure why. There is some moss starting to build up. You'll hit like 5 or 6 banks, and of the 5 or 6 banks, probably 2 or 3 of them are going to have moss bad enough that you're not able to fish it. So you start running into that moss, just go ahead and bail and go hit another bank that you think you can catch them on. Again, didn't look deep, don't care about the deep, I'm not going to go after the deep. I did talk to one of our other experts who was out earlier this week, or I guess last week, and he did catch them on an A-rig there as well. Most of those fish came off of deeper brush piles in that 20 to 30 foot range. Again, steeper banks, steeper points, that sort of thing. Go up into the James River and was up the James late last week. I had a decent day. I wouldn't call it a great day, but caught most of everything we caught was on a rock crawler, steeper banks. gravel and rock mix, not so much the ledge rock or the chunk rock, but it had to have some gravel mixed in it, but it still had to be fairly steep. And most of those fish, they're probably 7 to 10 foot deep, and basically was paralleling. Did throw jerkbait a little bit. I think we caught 2 on a jerkbait, but they were both short, and did catch a couple out of some not as deep brush piles, but out of some brush piles up there on an A-rig. Brush piles about 15 to 25 seemed to be the key, and using the live scope was really the key. Being able to bring it right over top of the brush pile and just lift it up over the brush pile and let it fall on the other side seemed to draw a lot more strikes than just straight reeling it and having it down deep enough that those fish would react to it. Come up here in the White River. Been in the White last 2 days. Yesterday was great. Today was kind of mediocre at best. Yesterday I caught them on a rock crawler really good, transition banks, gravel and rock mix banks, steeper gravel and rock mix banks. Most of them 5 to 7 foot deep. Bite was better in the wind, but didn't necessarily need wind. Caught them on an A-rig in those deeper brush piles as well. Anything from about 15 to about 25 seemed to be key. And again, using live scope or active target to bring that A-rig right over top of the brush pile and kind of kill it or slow it down when you brought it over the brush to draw strikes of the fish down in there. And then caught them on a jig as well. Caught them on a Jewel Pro spider jig. Most of those fish were a little bit deeper. They were probably 18 to 25. And most of those fish were around bigger rock. And when I say bigger rock, I mean boulders like the size of a car hood or bigger. And the fish were kind of in between those boulders where you had a little bit of either a wash or even some gravel in there. Those fish were relating to the boulders and actually relating to the wash in between the boulders. So getting ready to move up. But pretty good day yesterday. Had, I think 15 or 16 fish and 9 keepers. Today, went up the Kings looking for dirty water, found the dirty water, found the warmer water, struggled to get bit. Really struggled to get bit up there. Threw a rock crawler quite a bit, threw a jig quite a bit, and threw an A-rig quite a bit. I think we had 2 on a rock crawler, had 1 come off on a jig, nothing on an A-rig up there. Came back down here, threw a rock crawler, A-rig, and jig again, and struggled to get bit. I don't know, but we did catch. I think Phil had 1 short largemouth on an A-rig over top of a brush pile, but it was a shallower brush pile. I think it was probably only about 10 foot deep. And fish came right out. We actually physically saw it. He kind of hung up in the brush pile and popped it out. And when he popped it out, that fish came up and reacted to it. Actually saw the white flash underneath the water surface because it's pretty clear down here. But don't know. It's typical late winter, early spring. Every day's different. Got a front coming in tonight. I'm sure if we would have stayed out a little bit later, we probably could have caught a few more as that front gets a little bit closer. But yeah, it wasn't great, but we had fun. We went out and caught a few fish and moving on with life. Almost done with February. Got another front coming in, so it means more winter weather this week, maybe some storms tonight. Yesterday, now that I think about it, yesterday there was some water coming in. I didn't see a whole lot of water coming in, so that may have been why they bit a little bit better yesterday back in the creeks than they did today, but Caught them on the main lake and on creeks yesterday, and basically everything we caught was on the main lake or just inside the creeks today. So that may have had something to do with it, not as much water coming in. But best way to stay on top of it, get those reports, know what's going on, know before you go. Join Table Rock Fishing Intel, become a pro member, get those daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports. All the information that you need to catch more fish, catch bigger fish on Table Rock Lake is on Table Rock Fishing Intel. Again, remember, I did say you are going to get a 10% discount at Baitworks Online if you are a pro member. You just got to follow the link on our website. And we are working on some other discounts with some other companies that we're going to offer throughout the rest of the year. But if you're coming down, want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com. Either shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Again, check out Table Rock Fishing Intel if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.